guys, it's Bella. We're doing the Talon podcast again. Number 3. Same clothes.
Day 3, we're just wearing the same all-nighters.
All night, we're pulling an all-nighter. Yeah. I'm here with Eddie, my wonderful digital media advisor. He slays.
Right.
Right. Oh, so we're actually going to be talking about something a slightly more uplifting, just slightly.
I hope.
Dude, I already have way too much energy. This is our 3rd podcast, and I'm like, wow. We're talking about college. Surprise. More like just life in general. I think is more
life.
Broad. Like category.
And we're saying college because, typically for you all, it's where you're at right now.
It's where you're at. That's where we're at. We're at MSJC, Mount San Jacinto College. So yeah, we're here. We're talking about how to help you if maybe you happen to be a high schooler checking this out, thinking about attending MSJC or college in general, and you came across this video.
Yeah, or maybe helping someone who is getting ready to go into college, or just like in the middle of high school and stuff like that. So yeah, just talking about life.
Life advice, tips.
We started this topic because we were talking about what's going to happen after college, like for Bella, or where I'm at in my life after college and experiences, and then just the education system, because obviously there's like some things that have to adapt. Yeah, and if you were following our other 2 pink and black shirt conversations. We were talking about how quickly the move feels like it's going.
Yeah, dude. It's insane. It's like I'm on a rocket to space. Yeah. That's how fast it's going.
So I don't think the education system has kept up with the times as much as it should.
I thought that message was going to go different. I was going to be like, Eddie's out of here. I'll tell you.
I do believe in the education system. I do love working here at MSJC. And I think there are certain things that we're doing to kind of better help people, better help students. But
yeah, I think people are starting to pick it up.
Right.
But barely.
Is it enough? So let's get into it.
That's a good question.
So Bella.
So you start December 12th, 2003. Bella was born. Yeah, close enough.
Close enough, yeah. We around the mark. So for you, where are you at right now? Like with life?
I feel like a baby. Must be so horrible. Gosh, guys. Okay, so I'm 21. I am legally allowed to drink. Legally allowed to do a lot of stuff, which is weird.
Just not allowed to rent a car.
No, I know. I can't rent a car until I'm 25. That's so weird. Oh my gosh, that's in 4 years, and I'm turning 22.
Problem number 1 with society in America.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, because they're like, you should have several years of experience driving under your belt. But what if someone waits until they're like 24, 25 exactly to get their license? What then?
Right.
What then? Come on.
Yeah.
So I'm 21. I can legally drink, legally do a lot of stuff. I've been seen as a legal adult since I was 18 in the eyes of the government, which is weird.
Do you feel like a legal adult? Do you feel like an adult?
Slightly, because I do taxes. I'm doing my taxes. That's very big adult. Yeah. Thank you. Still don't pay for my bills yet, though. I am still protected by my parents. That's hard.
Gotcha.
That's hard.
Do you? You'd prefer to have your own place?
Ooh, with this economy, no. Girl, my older sisters who are millennials as well can't even afford their own place. Like, it is ridiculous. As much as I want to stay with my parents for as long as I can, I do know, I think, like, once I hit, like, 24, 25, like, I'm going to have to start working, like, 5 jobs so I can afford a house.
Got it.
Because I just can't live with them.
So you choose workaholic over living with your parents?
Over living with my parents, absolutely. I think there is, like, a slight stunt to your growth if you live with your parents longer. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because like I said, the economy. So I understand people that are older living with their parents. I even understand people who in their 30s and 40s have actually moved back in with their parents because of how horrible the economy is. So I get it. I do understand. I have grace and understanding for that. The only thing is, me personally, I kind of felt like my parents made me and my siblings, they kind of tried to make me as individual and as like be adult as possible. So to me, it doesn't make sense for me to stay home with my parents because I think they just really want me to, they want to feel as though I'm a secure adult. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, with all of that in high school, you're going into college. Like, why did you decide college? Did you go to college right after high school?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I am a fan of the gap year takers. Take a gap year. Do not ruin your mental health by going from the K through 12 system and then popping right into college. Y'all are insane for that. You all are troopers who actually have done that. But don't do it. Don't do it. Take a gap year. Take a gap year.
Okay.
And to everybody who thinks that you're not going to go back to college, well, if you happen to find like an awesome opportunity and you make something of yourself within the year of being out of high school, awesome, great, go do that. Go do that. Do good, not bad stuff. But if you are wanting a degree because the system is crazy and you be needing like 5 degree, like you be needing a doctorates for everything at this point. But if you really want to pursue college and you want to have a degree under your belt, do it. Everyone in high school, when I told all my friends that I was going to take a gap year, they all didn't believe in me. They were like, Bella, you know what? I love you, but you're not going to go back to college. And I was like, yeah, well, watch me. And I did. And especially because after graduating high school, that year to just experience life, not to do crazy stuff. Don't do crazy stuff, guys. Don't ruin your life. But just to, like be able to go to the beach whenever I want, be able to just like go shopping whenever I wanted, and then like get a job, learn how to work a job. That was awesome. And if anything, working a minimum wage job taught me how important it was for me to go and get a college degree. Like I was like, I'm not going to stay here for 10 years at a minimum wage, just being a shift lead, just being a manager. You can do that. Some people are genuinely really happy about doing that. I'm not trying to diss those people. It's just me personally. It was a really harsh wake-up call about how I wanted more with what I wanted to do in my life. Like I didn't just want to settle there.
So you weren't just like doing nothing, like you had a full-on job.
I had a full job, yes. And shout out to my parents and my sisters. They pushed me to be a better person because when I graduated high school, I didn't want to do anything. I was like, I'm free. I don't have to do anything. I'm not in college. I don't have a job. I live with my parents. Woohoo! And my sisters were like, nope. That's going to go downhill so quick. You're going to be like asking mom and dad for money left and right. Dad's going to be going broke. You're not even going to like know what to do. You're not even going to have a car. And praise be to God, my sister actually gave me her car, which was really nice. Or like I bought it from her. But still, like I had a car, so I was able to do the fun stuff. I was able to go to the beach whenever I wanted. That was awesome. But then it gave me the reality of like, well, I need to afford gas. I need a job. And my sister, love her, shout out to Bridget. She was on my butt about applying to every job. Any job that was available, any place that hired minimum wage, she was like, apply, call, get a job. So yeah, I was trying to do the most that I could as an 18-year-old, freshly graduated high school. So,
gotcha. Okay. So you graduated high school, had your gap year, then you went back to college. We've established that. I do want to go back to high school for a bit. High school experience. We don't have to go fully in depth, but as far as preparation for what's to come after high school, did you feel like it was setting you up for success?
It was bare minimum, guys. It was so bare minimum. Because, look, you are in high school. Most of the time, you're just trying to survive the social aspect of it. Like, it's just you're growing into your body, hormones are coming about, people are on social media trying to have like busy, fun, active lives, but it's like you're a teenager, you're not an adult yet, you're still sometimes considered a kid, and so people are kind of just like, it's like you're just a ball going back and forth, between two walls. Like it is really one of those times where it was frustrating because I was like, how am I being set up? I want to study film, and yet here I am taking English, math, and science and gym. Like, I don't care. I don't care. And I took all those classes, and then I got to college, and they were like, so what did you pass English, math, and science with? And I was like, B's, A's, and C's. And they were like, cool. So you're going to take English, math, and science again? Hello? That's redonkulous. I'm trying to go to college to learn my passion, you know? Like, I want to go to school for film. I don't use algebra. I'm not trying to become an engineer. I'm not someone who loves math, like bare minimum stuff. I don't use crazy calculations. I'm not trying to be an architect. Like, I'm not trying to do anything crazy that involves me using math or using science or using English. You know, I understand that you need to learn English to be able to have these conversations, to be able to articulate yourself well. I understand that. It's just ridiculous how in high school it doesn't feel like I'm being prepared. It just feels like I'm being pushed through. That's it.
Just the status quo.
Just the status quo. Well, you got 4 years. We got to get you your diploma. Let's do anything to get you there. I passed math senior year with a D. Okay? I'm being for real. And when I saw my math teacher as I'm walking for graduation, she was the most proud she could have ever been, because she was like, I don't care that you got a D. You passed and you're graduating. I am proud. I think I literally saw her and she was like, oh, yay, you're graduating. And I was like, I'm freaking graduating with a D in math, y'all. Like, that's how bad it was, okay? Let's be so for real.
Some would say she needed those math classes. But no, I mean, it is a good point. Like, our society prepares us for a lot of different things based off of what has worked in the past, maybe what's working currently, maybe just so everybody is like has eggs in all sorts of baskets. So like maybe you didn't like math to begin with, maybe you still don't like math, but somewhere along the line you do like math, and like you're like, well, I did take these courses. History. Yeah, you know, you take history classes. I wasn't a big fan of history, but I do like history in general, just not the class. It was very boring. But that was just, you know, based off of curriculum or preference. Yeah. You know?
And no one prepares you for preference. No one prepares you for preference.
I think that's a big thing.
That's a huge thing. And I was literally about to say, by the time they even get the statistics for like how everyone's doing actively in high school, it's a new generation that's in high school.
Yeah.
So it's like we are so behind on what actually works for people. Teachers have no idea how to accommodate for different learning styles. Like I was considered to be more on like the slower end of learning with my friends because they were all taking AP classes. One of them's literally studying to be a lawyer. Shout out Chris, love you. But like one of them's like studying to be, I don't know, computer engineer, what is something?
Software engineer.
See, a software engineer, like he's at Berkeley, you know, like there's so many things. And then there were my other friends who were like, I don't even want to go to college. What am I going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. What is high school going to like sustain you for? And they're like, I don't know. I know that MX plus B, you know, like whatever. And I'm like, that's not going to help us anywhere. Like, what? You know, like, it was so rough. It was so rough having those genuine conversations with my friends being like, what do we do after high school? Like, freshman year prepared us for sophomore year, and sophomore year prepared us for junior year. And now we're seniors. What do we do in college?
Right.
What are we studying in college? Why did I learn this stuff when like a good chunk of what I learned isn't going to apply to what I'm studying, like my field?
Right.
The only classes I ever appreciated were history, because I was like, this is relevant. This is wise for me to know. It's literally the history of the country that I live in. That would probably be important.
Right.
And the only class I liked my senior year were my history classes and my economics teacher. He was awesome. He taught us the curriculum within, like, because what, you get like 5 months or 4 months every semester.
Yeah.
So,
something like that.
Yeah, he taught us the entire curriculum. We all had amazing grades. And then he was like, all right, what do you guys want to know about the real world? We learned the curriculum. We have about a month left of school. What do you need to know? And we were like, ooh, we got questions. We learned about credit score. We learned about how taxes worked. We learned about housing. We learned about cars, down payments, you know, like all of that stuff. And it was awesome. And he was so willing to be able to tell us, like, it's harsh, guys. Like, he was telling us about how he got credit card after credit card after credit card, and that he was like, I didn't know that I was amounting in debt. He's like, I didn't know that because no one taught me that. And so he told us, he was like, if you're going to get a credit card, start with one. He's like, just start with one. Don't stress yourself out about it. And he like taught us everything. He taught us about what even our credit score meant in the eyes of, you know, bankers and car salesmen and all that. And literally it has been agreed upon that he was the most beneficial teacher out of our entire 4 years. Like, yeah, teachers teach you a lot about personal growth, you know, you as a person, and like how you can deal with real world situations, communication, etc. But teachers that actually take the time to be like, this is how this applies to the real world, game changers. They're so important. We ended up voting him because my high school voted a teacher to give a speech, and we voted him.
Cool.
Yeah. And he had never given a speech before.
Really?
So, yeah.
Dang. Okay.
It was
cool.
his first time giving a speech at our high school, so it was awesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and she brings up some points, and I think like even when I was in high school or coming out of high school, I've talked about this with some of my family members. Is school doesn't prepare you for a lot of adult experiences like filing taxes, like saving or credit card experience.
I was so scared filing my taxes like 2 years ago. I literally called my dad and I was like, Dad, did I do it right? Did I do it? I did it right? Like, I'm not gonna get like the what is it, the IRS like coming after me?
After you.
Yeah, and he was like, no, you're fine. I was like, oh, okay.
And I've had that before. Like the IRS sent me a letter saying you owe like $2,000 or whatever the case.
Dang,
like,
dude.
and that was like second year of filing in my adulthood.
Wow. Yeah, and that's scary.
Yeah. Luckily, I had the money. I was in the military, so like that was an option for me. But yeah, like you don't really learn those, and it doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be a whole semester course or anything to prepare students.
It doesn't. It would be nice.
It would be nice
because you could do all the nitty gritty details of everything. But
yeah, but even just offering like workshop, like you're just like, hey, you want to enroll in like this workshop for every other week or something like that, to better prepare you in your senior year, junior year.
Oh man, that would have been nice.
Yeah, like instead of learning it from a professor on the back end or whatever the case.
Like whenever, because people end up making friendships, and it's like, yeah, like I had moments where I could ask my teachers about like more like bigger life questions, and they were like, yeah, like I've dealt with that. This is my experience. This is how maybe you could do that. But like, not everyone got that. Not everyone was close to a professor or wanted to be. So
for sure. So I think that, high schools, because colleges are preparing, like at least for MSJC, we do have a lot of offerings here that better prepare students.
Take advantage.
Yeah, like we've been able to send students to Yale and other Ivy League schools.
Yeah.
So
True.
It's just, we have a lot to offer. But sometimes we don't get enough eyes on it because, again,
no one knows. Also.
Yeah, no one knows.
No one.
Everyone's kind of like in their bubble.
Yeah,
like,
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like kind of like, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna just like boom, boom.
Because that's
boom.
what you're taught in high school and everything.
Exactly.
So, like, you have to fend for yourself.
So you fend for yourself, and then I've had great conversations with some of the counselors here. Like they've been able to, like, I think I read that a class had 2 prereqs, and I didn't know that. Like I was like, is it one or the other? And she was like, no. Both classes are a prereq. You can't take that one until you've taken both. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I needed that clarification.
Yeah.
But I will say MSJC is actually really good at giving the academic plans. So sometimes you don't have to meet with your counselors. If like you can just read it and be like, okay, cool, I got to take these courses. Awesome. That covers social studies. That covers a language. That covers English. They make it really easy, which is super nice, especially if maybe you want to take some extra classes that aren't a part of the major curriculum for your degree. But it's it's best to check in with counselors
Yeah,
because
for sure.
they have all the nitty gritty about if you want to transfer to a specific college, they can pull up everything. They're in touch with the counselors at that university, so like
Yeah.
it's nice.
I would say that, like, and we're speaking about MSJC because we're here, and
Right.
it's not like MSJC is perfect either. There are some flaws that we have, but going back to the counselor thing and like making sure your program is
Wait,
set
did it
up.
stop?
I don't know.
What was that? It stopped, yeah.
It did stop.
I ran out of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're listening to us, our video cut out. So you'll probably see like a black message or maybe like a picture of an embarrassing photo of Bella. I don't know.
What the
Maybe
heck?
that.
Okay, no,
Anyways,
I'm gonna
continuing.
edit that just so it's not there.
Moving on. Okay,
yeah, so we lost video, but
we're talking about
we were talking about MSJC.
counselors. Yeah,
and
we're talking about
counselors.
MSJC. So yeah, it's important to meet with a counselor because like with whether you're going here or any college, sometimes courses aren't offered the next semester. So if you're thinking like, like I can finish within a year because like I can take this course next semester and then this course next. It's like, well, sometimes that course isn't offered like in the fall semester.
Fall or the
Sometimes it's
spring.
offered.
I
And
didn't
that's
know
where-
that, guys.
That's where a lot of students, like I've seen it so many times and it almost happened to me. And then you have to graduate a whole year later. That's crazy. It throws off your whole mood.
Man,
And, and that's not necessarily like, sure, I'm sure MSJC can do something better to fix that kind of scenario, but it's also like we're limited, like instructors are limited on the classes they can teach and the
Yeah.
time they have, and we're limited on instructors.
Also, just to throw in,
Mm-hmm.
guys, don't be dissing community colleges.
Yeah.
They are, one, a huge money saver.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you just heard Eddie say that they've been able to transfer students to Yale.
Yeah.
Do not base your high school grades off of how well you're going to do in a university. Okay? University, as much as people, your teachers say it's different, it is different in the aspect of you have way more homework
Right.
than you could ever expect. That's different. Some of the professors are really chill. I think like teachers definitely like over exaggerated on the type of attitudes that you'll run into in a professor, but if university seems like a really far stretch, at least get an associate's at a community college. Like
Yeah.
that will save you time, that will save you money, and you're able to do a lot with that. Even then, like, it gives you a bigger opportunity too to be able to transfer to some of your dream schools. Like they take into consideration a college transfer as equally serious, if not more serious, than a high school transfer.
Yeah.
Because you have that more life experience in the college experience.
Exactly. And going back to like our conversation about high school grades and the experience and what it does to prepare you, I think community college is that much more relevant because like I learned so much I was a MSJC student, and honestly MSJC was a lot harder than my next 2 years in Cal State Fullerton. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, there was a semester I finished it and I cried because I didn't think I was capable of completing the class. Like, I turned in the paper and I just cried. I went out on my patio and just cried because I'm like, this is it. But I passed, and thinking back to my high school grades and my high school experience and thinking like, oh, I need to take AP courses so that I can go to a nice college. Like, I think it's all fake. You could do a lot better by maybe focusing on other extracurricular activities during high school, being with your friends, getting C's, B's, sure, try to get A's, but don't treat high school so seriously think that you got to
completely lose out on life.
Yeah, because it's just like she said, community colleges are a lot more valid than a 4-year. Don't do a 4-year.
Yeah. If you can, go for community college. And if you want to transfer, that's cool. Go transfer.
Yeah.
That's an awesome choice. Like I said, you save money.
Right.
But going straight from high school to a 4-year is intense. The learning curve is hard because most of the time, your freshman year, you're going to think, I can take 5 classes, I can take 6, because that's what I did in high school. Absolutely not. In college, in university, 4 5 is pushing it. That's like even a lot. 6, absolutely not. Do not do it.
Yeah.
4, that's like your cup is filled. That's a good amount of classes. You got a good amount of homework, especially if you're doing your GEs your first year. Like, your GE teachers do not care. They give you the full curriculum. Like, they're like, this is every single assignment. Do it and turn it in on time. That's
Yeah.
it. And like, you're like, oh, okay, sure, I'll do that. But because it's college, you have a car probably. You probably have a job. I'll go have fun with my friends.
Yeah.
I'll go hang out more. I'll live life a little bit more now that I'm not in high school and I'm not
Right.
like
You have
seen
a
as a
lot more
little
freedom,
kid.
yeah.
Yeah. And so you get into that mindset of, let me do more fun. I didn't do that in high school. Then you're in college and they're like, hey man, that assignment was due 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month goes by. Hey, you need to talk to your counselor. People don't think your professors don't think you're going to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens quick. So take it seriously, but have fun. And you can manage your time. You can learn how to manage your time. And you can also be in a reality of, hey, maybe I won't graduate immediately within these 4 years. Maybe I'll graduate in 3.5 if you're able to do more classes in different semesters. Or maybe you can push it to 4.5 or maybe 5 years. It's not crazy. I do understand that money is a very valid issue, but you know, it's like, do not kill yourself mentally, physically, spiritually by dumping a huge amount of work onto you.
Right. Yeah. Polish yourself. Take time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sorry, really quick, I did want to also mention, if you're in high school and like you are pushing to the ultimate limit to get into a 4-year, I hope that happens for you. But let's be real, there have been plenty of people who were denied from top schools that, you know, they had everything. They had the curriculums, they had the grades, they had everything that looked good on a portfolio, and yet the top school denied them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so I think it just goes to show that, especially if you're in high school, and this goes for college students too that are thinking of transferring, be realistic with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be realistic about what you're studying, about who you are academics wise. Are you someone who is willing to commit to the long hours of study? Are you someone who's willing to do all of these classes, do all of these programs, you know, take all that extra time? Like, these are very genuine, serious questions to ask yourself. Like, even with me with film, I was like, I'm gonna have a great time with my classes. But then, you know, once graduating, I was like, I'm going to have long hours filming, doing productions, traveling. It may sound fun, but it gets exhausting quick, and I'm well aware of that. So it's like, I knew that I was ready to be exhausted for my job, and I knew I was going to be happy doing that. So it's just like, you got to ask yourself those questions.
Right. Yeah. Definitely have to have balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we'll start wrapping it up here. But the last thing I'll say is, coming from someone who's been in the military, went to college afterwards, has a full-time career now, and savings. Like, savings is so important. The big thing that I find is that a lot of people out of high school going into adulthood don't know all of the options they have for them in the States. Like, you can go in the military. Like, of course, there's requirements for that you have to pass. You can go in the Peace Corps, all these different things that have the ability to travel. And traveling is like a big part of me. I find you get a lot of experiences with that. So definitely travel if you can, if you can get those services. You don't have to go to a 4-year. I think like that's been like set in the mind, but lately there's been a rise in trade schools and apprenticeships.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, guys. Sorry, I did realize we made it very much about school, but yeah, if you want to do a trade, if you wanna do girls' nails, if you want to do them lashes, hair, like
welding, like I don't know, like apprenticeship.
Yeah, like if you can go to a trade school, go to a trade school. They're still a bit pricey because it's a trade, so they're very like, they're honing in on a specific thing.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to go to school at all, that's okay too. Just make sure that you are going to set yourself up for success, because like I said, it's tough to be in a minimum wage job. Next thing you know, you've been there for 8 years, haven't moved anywhere, still living with your parents. Like, it's a different kind of reality when you realize that you feel like you haven't done anything with your life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I understand living for experiences, but you do with where we live in the the country, like, it's hard to just live for experiences. You do unfortunately have to think a little bit more solid, but yeah, don't feel like you have to go to college.
Yeah.
There are so many people who have made incredible opportunities for themselves. So
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that's a little blasphemous, like working at a college or going to college, but yeah, I mean, it's important to take the time. Like, if you can take a gap year, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Yeah.
go to college until after the military, so like I was already like halfway through being in my 20s before I went to college, and I don't regret that.
And go back to college too.
Yeah, go back to college if you need to.
Take gap years. Don't stress.
If you are a college student, you're getting ready to graduate, or like,
Congratulations.
yeah, congrats.
That's hard.
My recommendation is, or if you're graduating from MSJC and you're going to transfer,
Woohoo!
get into extracurricular activities.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
like
they're
do
so fun.
clubs and stuff like that. Like, even if you're not a part of a club, go out,
Join the Talon.
go to events and stuff like that, because that's where you're going to meet other people that are just like you.
Yeah. And those are the experiences within the real life future planning.
Yeah, because if you are planning to just get your degree, be like top grade student, that'll get you somewhere. But if you don't know how to connect with people, and have a community to like build a foundation
Yeah,
for your
absolutely.
career,
Mhm.
then you're not going to do as well. Because it really does matter. Like, there's so many colleagues that you're like, oh wow, like this person is out doing this, and I can connect with them. Like, even if it doesn't even offer you a job, it'll at least give you some insight on like what these different careers are, or what their life experiences are like.
Yeah.
So I've had that happen so many times.
It just shows you how different life is for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah, and how small the world is after you graduate. Seeing people, or like meeting people that know the people like you went to school with, or that you.
Oh my gosh,
have
yeah.
met. Yeah. So
It's like funny because people are always like, oh my gosh, what a small world. And I'm like, no, for real. Somehow, I went to college, went to travel. Somehow, I meet you, and like half the people that I know. And I'm like, don't know
Exactly.
how we did that, but here we are.
Yeah. So take life one stride at a time.
Yeah, don't
and
worry.
Do what works best for you.
If you believe in the Lord, as they say, you may make plans, but the Lord guides your steps. So don't stress, guys. It's okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for me, Bella.
We're sorry we ran out of video footage, but here we are. We hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know. I might be back with the Talon next semester. We'll see. I don't know if you guys are sick of me yet. But yeah, this is the last episode of the semester. We hope you enjoyed. We hope that you learned something, that you grew, or maybe had some interesting conversations with some of your friends on campus. If you didn't, maybe you can make friends on campus. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed some of the content we made this year. I tried. Guys, I tried really hard.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy, but I love what I do, like I say. So we hope you have a wonderful summer. We hope all the people graduating, transferring are super excited. You guys go. You rock. You did it. You made it. Congratulations. Yeah, we hope to see you next year. And that's it from me. Bye.
See ya.